Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to Get Hit with the Truth. So, today we are doing the November boxing schedule, as I'm going to talk about the schedule for the whole month of November, all the fights in order from where they are during the month, and then I will talk about the top three overall cards, and then I will discuss the top five overall fights to get you a little bit more context and in detail about the fights that are coming up this month. So we're going to kick it off with before we get into all that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel, I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. So first up, you got on the 1st of November coming up here on Friday, you got Jermaine Ortiz taking on Christian Minnow in a 140-pound battle. Ortiz bouncing back from the controversial loss to Teofimo Lopez as he challenged for his first title back in February, taking on Christian Minnow, 24-9-2. This is a guy coming down a lot of weight. I think he's kind of tailor made for Ortiz right here, as Ortiz just tries to get back into the win column. So, excuse me. I think Ortiz is a heavy favorite going into this one. The card itself not too great, but that's taking place this Friday on DAZN. Then this Saturday, the 2nd, you got a couple different cards. First on ESPN Plus, the rematch. Robson Conceição defending the 130-pound WBC super featherweight title against O'Shaquie Foster in their rematch from their controversial fight that took place back in July. That main event's the ESPN card. The co-feature, Raymond Murataya, the hard-hitting, lightweight, undefeated contender, is taking on a guy named, I think it's Johan Perez. I think Murataya is Murataya is a heavy favorite coming into this one, but people shouldn't sleep on Perez either, because Murataya, this is his second time actually fighting, kind of a so-so opponent that, I think a lot of people were expecting, following the Farmer fight, were expecting him to come back against a, tougher opposition, but I was expecting him to face somebody different. He's facing Johan Perez. And, I think he's coming in the heavy favor. Actually, the dude's name is, it is Jesus Perez. Sorry about that. 25-5, it hasn't really done much. I think, Murataya is coming in a heavy favorite, trying to look good, so hopefully he does. Also on the 2nd, on DAZN, you have a big card that's featuring the undisputed women's flyweight title when Gabriela Fundora battles Gabby Alanes. That's the undisputed title. That's Sebastian Fundora's sister. They'll fight for the undisputed title in the flyweight division. The undercard sees Floyd Schofield and Renee Tellez. And then Bektamir Melikuziev is also fighting. So that's going to be a decent DAZN card on the 2nd as well. Melikuziev, 168-pound contender. Then on Friday the 8th, you have a very good card on ESPN Plus. Well, a good main event. Keyshawn Davis, undefeated lightweight contender, is battling was battling fellow contender Gustavo Lemos, as Lemos is coming off of his controversial decision loss to Richardson Hitchens earlier this year. Middleweight showdown on the undercard, Troy Isley taking on some guy named Howard. Isley's an undefeated middleweight on the rise. Then on Saturday the 9th on DAZN, you got Boots Ennis defending his welterweight title in the main event when he takes on Karan Chukhajian in a rematch from their January 2023 bout, in which Boots won a one-sided decision to win the interim title. Boots, this will be the second defense of his welterweight title. Then you got Bam Rodriguez defending his 115-pound title against some guy named Guevara, as he stays busy in the co-feature. And then Ray Ford makes his 130-pound debut when he battles a guy named Gonzalez. Also on the undercard. That's a super featherweight debut for Ray Ford right there, coming off of his very active year in which he won the featherweight title and then lost it to Nick Ball. Also on the 9th on payperview.com, Subriel Matias makes his return to action following losing his the IBF title at 140 when he battles some guy named Ramirez on the 9th. And Matias is a heavy favorite going into that one. Then on Friday the 15th, the Netflix, I'm not really so interested in the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. I could care less about that. I'll probably watch it just for entertainment value, and because it's on Netflix and I'm a Netflix member. But the undercard, not bad. There's a couple good fights. Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, for the undisputed women's junior welterweight title in their rematch from their banger that they had a couple years back. I'm actually looking forward to seeing this woman's fight right here. I think it's going to be a good one. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. But also the WBC welterweight title on the line on the undercard as well. And Mario Barrios makes the first official defense of his title when he battles game contender Abel Ramos. That's going to be a banger right there too. I'm looking forward to that one. Then on Saturday the 16th, Riyadh season returns an all Golden Boy card. Mexican American card, as the main event is a cruiserweight title unification bout when reigning WBA cruiserweight champion Gilberto Ramirez attempts to unify belts against reigning WBO cruiserweight champion Chris Billon Smith of the United Kingdom. Big time matchup right there in the main event. Then there's the lightweight co-feature. I think it's the co-feature. William Zepeda, the undisputed mandatory undefeated number one ranked contender at lightweight, battles former junior lightweight champion Tevin Farmer in a good one. And then Arnold Barbosa Jr., the undefeated junior welterweight contender, battles former unified junior welterweight champion Jose Ramirez. That's going to be a banger right there at 140. And then Oscar Duarte battles Kenneth Sims on the undercard as well in a 140-pound battle. So that's a very good card right there. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. And that's pretty much it for the month of November. There's really not much going on after that. So let's look at all the cards, and I'm going to give you my top 3 on the month that you really need to pay attention to. Number 3, I'm giving to the Saturday, November 9th, DAZN card, headlined by Boots and Chukaji. And I don't even think that's really going to be that great of a main event. But just seeing Boots in action, hopefully he leaves no doubt and scores a knockout in this one over this dude who somehow became the mandatory challenger to him to earn this rematch, which is bullshit. But hopefully Boots looks good. Boots is an entertaining dude no matter who he fights, and you really want to tune in to see him fight. And I think this time he's definitely going to go for the knockout. Then you got Bam Rodriguez on the undercard, on the co-feature. I mean, that's huge right there. Bam is entertaining as hell, coming off of a major win. So he's looking to defend his title and keep moving up the ladder. And then Ray Ford opening the card. I mean, I know these guys are all like huge favorites going in between Boots, Bam, and Ford, but they're all quality ass fighters right here. Ford, I mean, you could be looking at 3 world champions. Ford narrowly lost to Nick Ball, who's highly recognized at featherweight. And Boots and Bam are both very good world champions. Bam's a pound for pound guy in the top 10. So that's a good overall card in terms of talent right there. So that's number 3 on the month. Number 2, I got to give it to the Netflix card on Friday the 15th. Some people might disagree, but Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano and their rematch for the undisputed junior welterweight women's title is going to be a fucking good one. That's a good matchup. And then Mario Barrios defending his welterweight title against Abel Ramos. It's a very good matchup. Like, it's not a one-sided. Those two fights aren't a one-sided thing like the Boots card is on the 9th, 6 days earlier. And then Tyson and Jake Paul, as much as I don't want to see it, or don't care, I guess is more what it is. I kind of want to see it for entertainment value. It's kind of a big deal right now. And considering they have legitimate fights on the undercard, I think it's kind of cool. And it's on Netflix. It's not on pay-per-view, so that's going to be good. But by far, the number 1 card of the month, by far, again belongs to Riyadh season on November 16th. This is a stacked card. It really is. I mean, Billum Smith and Gilberto Ramirez to unify cruiserweight titles is a banger. That's a big fight. William Zepeda and Tevin Farmer, even though Zepeda is a solid ass favorite, it's a good matchup for a good opponent for him with Farmer, who looked good against Raymond Murataya. Arnold Barbosa and this is one of the best matchups of the month. Barbosa and Jose Ramirez. That's a straight up 50-50 fight right there. And then Duarte versus Sims is a good one. So at 140 as well. So a lot of good fights on that card. By far, it's the card of the month. The top 5 fights though of the month, I have a 3-way tie for 5th. I'll start with Keyshawn Davis and Gustavo Limos. They collide on the Friday ESPN Plus main event of Friday, November 8th, ESPN Plus main event. This is a good one right here. I mean, Keyshawn Davis trying to make his claim at lightweight, taking on Gustavo Limos, who's a threat. I mean, he retired Lee Selby and then went up to 140 and took on Richardson Hitchens in a fight that a lot of people thought he won earlier this year. And the decision went to Hitchens. He's moving back down now to lightweight to take on Keyshawn Davis, who's highly regarded, very talented fighter. This is going to be a good one right here. I'm really interested in this matchup, this lightweight matchup right here. I can't wait to see it. Then also Boots and Chukagian, is tied for the 5th fight. Mainly Boots just trying to look good, stay hot, as a lot of people are projecting him to move to 154 in 2025 and just tap into that already loaded ass division at 154. That, I mean, just to see Boots back in action, that one takes place on Saturday the 9th in the main event of the DAZN card, so it should be good. And then the third one to tie for 5th is a Mario Barrios Abel Ramos WBC welterweight title fight that takes place on Netflix on the Tyson Jake Paul undercard. I can't wait to see this one. I really can't. Barrios and Ramos, two guys that just get in there and they throw. These two guys are it's going to be an all Mexican type battle right here. Ramos, it does not lay down for anybody. He gave Cody Crowley hell last year when they fought. And Mario Barrios, defeated Yordenis Ugas and showed everybody what he's made of. So this is a good one. Another welterweight title fight that I'm really looking forward to. Number 4 on the month is Arnold Barbosa Jr. versus Jose Ramirez. This 140-pound showdown right here is a good one right here. I mean, the winner is probably going to be in line for a title or knocking on the door of another big fight right after this. So really looking forward to this one. Can't wait to see it. That is actually on the Riyadh season undercard on November 16th on DAZN. Number 3 on the month, I'm going with Robson Conceição against O'Shaquie Foster 2. That's main eventing the ESPN Plus November 2nd card. This rematch right here, it was hotly contested. Most people feel O'Shaquie Foster won the first fight, myself included. And now he wants to right that wrong against Conceição, who wants to leave no doubt that he's the better man. So this is a good rematch right here. Mandatory rematch taking place on November 2nd in the main event on ESPN Plus. I'm looking forward to that one. The number 2 fight on the month, I kind of went back and forth for a minute, but it goes to Gilberto Ramirez and Chris Billum Smith to unify cruiserweight titles at 200 pounds. A lot riding on this fight. The winner likely going to be facing Jai Opetaia to unify titles next year sometime. Both these guys are risking it and going for it against each other. It's a good one. It's tough to not put this number 1. But I got to go number 1 is the rematch, and it's amazing to me that I'm doing this because I don't really watch women's boxing. But Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, too, for the undisputed women's junior welterweight title is a good one. That's headlining that's actually the co-feature of the Jake Paul Mike Tyson card on Netflix on Friday the 15th. So a lot of good fights. Honorable mention to Zepeda and Farmer in their lightweight clash that takes place on the 16th. I didn't include that one simply because Zepeda is a one-sided favorite kind of in that fight, and I think it could be that way. Bam and Guevara, I was kind of the same thing on that one. Yeah, that's a one-sided, even though Bam's fighting. So a lot of good fights though taking place in the month of November. Make sure you check it out. This has been the November boxing schedule. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel. This is True Boxing, and you've been hit with the truth.